Thanks for joining everyone tonight for Drone Brothers University. We're talking about entrepreneurship stuff tonight. So I'm gonna kind of fast forward because you guys all know who I am. Tonight's agenda, we're gonna skip over who and why Drone Brothers. You guys all have been on these past sessions, you know all about us. And we're gonna jump right down to take a deep dive into principle number 3 of always be learning. And then I'm gonna have a little discussion about kind of the future of Hangar Talk and Drone Bros University. And we'll open things up for questions and answers. And again, we got a small enough group, so if you guys want to stop and have a discussion on any point as we go along, feel free to raise your hand or just jump in and we can have a quick discussion. And we will try to keep this to 1 hour or less, so everyone's time is respected and everyone can get back to what they were doing. So this meeting's being recorded. We take these meetings once they're recorded, we give them back to our marketing team, and they'll cut them down and put them into post them onto our YouTube channel and to our website. Again, ask questions when you want. I love engagement and participation, so the more you guys get engaged and involved, the better. We'd love to hear feedback on how these things are going. So if you guys have feedback for us, either during the call, or if you want to send something privately to us on what we can be doing better with these meetings, let us know. And we'll stay on as long as we need to at the end to have a discussion, because we love talking about drones. Go ahead, Corey.
Yeah, you said posting replays on the website. Where would that be?
Right now they're on the YouTube channel, where they're on our Vimeo page, and they should be on our YouTube channel. But I will get you they're not. Sarah, who just started with us last week, is responsible for revamping our entire pilot page on the website. So they're not on the website yet, but they are on our Vimeo channel. I will get you a link to that. All right, you guys all know who we are. I'm going to skip all this. Our pilot affiliate program, you know about that. So unless you guys want to have any questions about the affiliate program, we can move on from there. But the basic idea is to give you guys the ability to pitch yourself as nationwide people in the nationwide business.
Okay, question.
Yep.
Yeah, I just read an article today. Arco is building down here again. You got anything to do with that?
What are they building?
I believe it's a cold storage warehouse.
We do a lot of work for Arco's entertainment division, and we're getting into some of them on their industrial team. We've been asked to do some jobs as well. So if you can let us know the details as far as the address or where it is or any kind of details, I can reach out to our contacts at Arco and find out have they started building on it yet?
I don't believe so.
Did you see a sign or read something in the newspaper about it?
Yeah, it was an online periodical I get.
Yeah, if you want to send a link up to that periodical to me, whatever details you've got about the job, I will reach out to my contacts at Arco and find out if what they're doing for drone stuff and make sure that we get it and you get to fly it. So that'd be awesome. Let me know what city it is or crossroads or any details you have about the job. I will have our team do some digging into it, find out who the right people are. Arco job, Jacksonville. Perfect. Well, for those that I'll kind of go through these real quick, but we've come up with a series of 12 principles for entrepreneurial leadership. We've gone through 2 in the past 2 months. So we've gone through one called Be Organized. We've done one about always be communicating and educating. And again, these should be up on our Vimeo page and our YouTube channel as well. And tonight we're going to get into always be learning, ABL, and how we can always be learning. Number 4, surround yourself with smart people. We'll talk about that next month. Embrace failure. Find some balance between work and play. Number 7, give it away. We've built this business by giving our services away a lot of times to clients just to get our foot in the door, and it's a good business model for helping to grow and build trust with your clients. We're gonna have it. I can't wait to talk about this one. In fact, I'm probably gonna have Sarah be involved with us on this one, getting social. What's involved in your Google My Business page, talking about LinkedIn as a great solution, but we'll talk about that in an upcoming session. Always do what's right, over deliver every single time. Number 10, be patient. And this is the hardest thing for me to do, is to be patient, because we've been at this for 9 years and it can never go fast enough for me. We always want more and grow fast, better and faster. So we got to learn to be patient because success doesn't happen overnight. Number 11, hold yourself accountable. And once you learn to do that, you can hold your coworkers and clients accountable as well. And then number 12 is be old school. And I'm going to be 60 years old this year. And I learned from my father the art of selling and being an entrepreneur. And a lot of the stuff is being lost in today's youth and where things are going. And no one wants to be old school anymore. Being old school sets yourself apart from everybody else in the marketplace, because where everyone's trying to text and wow people with their fancy technology, people still love a handshake, and a smile, and a handwritten note from time to time. So we'll talk about that in an upcoming session as well. Cool. Always be learning. So I look at learning in two different areas. There's learning personally and learning professionally. So I think it's really important that we as humans and business people need to take time for ourselves first and commit once a year to do either an in-person class or a virtual class or some kind of class in each of these areas. Do a class that and something you like to do personally. So if you're interested in photography or underwater basket weaving, whatever floats your boat, take a class in that and learn and educate yourself. And then professionally, pick something professionally that you're going to be able to use in your business to improve yourself in the business. So that's really important. I put together kind of a list of life-changing books that I've learned a lot of stuff from and have shared these with others and my family and friends and relatives and business associates. So the biggie, and there's an interesting stat on the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. I think this has been on the New York Times bestseller list longer than any other book in the history of books. It's been on there for literally years on the bestseller list. This is something done by, for those that don't know, Stephen Covey. Brilliant, gifted guy. In fact, I think he passed away within the last couple years. His son is actually in the business as well, and he wrote a book called 7 Habits of Highly Effective Teens. And I actually found that book, because I give it to each of my kids and read it with my kids. I found that book actually easier to read because it's geared towards, I guess, kids, and my brain must be like the brain of a child or something like that, because I understood that book a lot better. The pictures, the graphics, the way the stories were told. So I would actually recommend his son's book, The Highly Effective Teens. It's the same material, but it's a lot easier to understand terms. So other book on here is Atomic Habits by James Clear, big time New York Times bestseller list. Very interesting guy. Tony Robbins has been around for as long as I have. This guy, Tony Robbins, is probably mid-60s. I've been doing this for 40 plus years. Any book by Tony Robbins you're going to learn a lot from. I recently read his latest book is called Life Force, game changer of what's going on with technology and the medical field, of what they're doing in medicine and technology. A lot of stuff to learn for personal reasons. Good to Great is a classic, Jim Collins. And I'm actually in the process right now of reading a book called 4-Hour Workweek by Tim Ferriss. For those of you that don't know Tim Ferriss, he's got a huge following online. He does a blog and a podcast every week, interviews very interesting people. And this 4-Hour Work, he's been out for years, and I'm actually about a quarter way through it, and really interesting book. His concept is basically that we can get things down to working a lot less and just working a lot smarter. So 5 good books, life-changing books that I recommend. Channels to subscribe to on YouTube to learn. Obviously, Drone Deploy, be seen between learning their material, and they've got a new YouTube channel called Built Differently, which focuses on the construction industry. So I've learned a lot from the 2 guys, Grant and Brian, that run that podcast. So good thing to learn about. If you're into technology, Proper Honest Tech is a guy from London, England, that does a weekly thing. He takes and usually Apple products, and he takes and does a deep dive into Apple Notes or Apple Reminders, but really does a really good job explaining things in really easy terms. And they're bite-sized. They're usually 10 minutes or less, and I learn a ton from watching those. For those of you that don't know, Peter McKinnon, one of the most gifted videographers on the planet. This guy's got a huge following, and started off as a photographer, and now he does really cool videos, and really talented guy. DC Rainmaker, another guy I've been following. He does, so if you guys want to learn about the latest in drone technology, 360 cameras, he takes these things apart and takes you to a deep dive. He just did a thing on the new DJI 3 that just came out, and usually the day things come out, he's out there doing a breakdown of how they work and how they hold up. And he's a really funny guy. He takes these drones out, and he'll actually test he'll test out the DJI drone compared to a Skydio drone to see which has better following capabilities. And he gets joy out of crashing and losing his drones. He's got a huge following, but he'll be doing things with the drone, these $1,500 drone. He'll be following. He's on a bike. He'll go in the middle of some tree-lined sidewalk, and if the drone doesn't do what it's supposed to do, it will crash into a tree or fall into the river nearby. And he's a really good guy at explaining and showing you the limits of what drones are capable of doing and all the latest technology. Tom Biel, I think it's called Bailu is how he pronounces his name. Ed Milet are good kind of self-improvement guys. They interview people that are the best of the best in their craft and tries to figure out what makes them tick and what things they do to be successful. I mentioned Tim Ferriss and Gary Vee. For those of you into social media and wanting to learn how to do social media right, this guy is one of the world-renowned experts in social media. He's got an agency out of New York. He does all the social work for some really big-time clients, but he spends most of his time getting followed around with by a camera. Motivational guy and uplifting guy, and he just tells it like it is. He doesn't sugarcoat anything. He just tells stuff like it is. And if you want to do well on social media, you gotta be posting every single day. So good guy to subscribe to. Websites to learn from. Again, YouTube is the best. So you want to learn stuff, go to YouTube. I've used creativelive.com. LinkedIn Learning's another great one. So I think you might have to pay for the LinkedIn Learning. Other ones you have to pay for as well. But I think with LinkedIn Learning, have you guys ever used LinkedIn Learning before? Anyone?
I have. Sometimes they'll give you free classes to lure you to get you to sign up. Right now, I'm going through a class on photography and another one on social media using LinkedIn. But so there are some free classes they give, and they're pretty good.
Good. Yeah, I've enjoyed. I think it's the LinkedIn Learning used to be called lynda.com, and they bought out lynda.com years ago and made it under LinkedIn Learning. Again, good creative classes, business classes, technology classes. Like I'm taking a class now on Final Cut Pro to kind of learn the basics of that, but very, very well done resource for classes. I love learning from the help pages of our suppliers. So I give one example is Drone Deploy. So if you guys have not gone here, go to the academy.dronedeploy.com and log in. It's free. They are one of the best at putting together educational modules. So for those of you who have not seen, there's 7 courses on the kind of industry overview. There's a course on mastering the fundamentals. There's 13 courses in that. So again, they've really thought this stuff out, and they've got great courses. And I'm 99% sure it's free. You just need to. You might have to sign up for an account with them in order to take the classes. But have any of you had experience with LinkedIn or with Drone Deploy Academy?
Nope.
Nobody? Yeah, it's a great tool. And so if you guys get a chance, go to academy.dronedeploy.com, sign up for a free account. And if for some reason you can't get in, you need to have a license with them, which I don't think you do, let me know and we can get Tony on it to make sure you probably get activated through your whatever license you're using to fly for us with should get you in as well. So great tool for learning. So I always, again, try to go to, like we big users of monday.com. They got a great help desk and online tutorials. So again, try to always learn from the people we're getting our software from. We talked about this, I think, a couple sessions ago, learning about using AI to learn. Do you guys have experience, show of hands, with OpenAI and ChatGPT?
I was using it before
Yeah.
the Zoom tonight.
Yeah.
It's amazing that the AI. It's editing my pictures. I used to have to spend anywhere from like $40 to $100 a week sometimes on headshots. It's costing me basically pennies now for headshot edits, manipulation, changing backgrounds. It's crazy.
Now, ChatGPT is doing that, or is there a sister software that's doing that?
I'm using a product called EVO, which is AI.
Okay.
And then ChatGPT. I was just watching something today, which I bookmarked, and apparently you can get a like a, what do you call it, a connection or whatever, an add-on,
Plug.
and you can plug in, and you could upload all pictures of you, or let's say of a client, which in my case I'm using of a client, and then you can go to a black box and take a stick figure and move the stick figure around, and ChatGPT will create that image of that person based off of whatever background you're trying to sell. It's crazy.
It's mind-boggling to me. I mean, I love technology and love learning this stuff. And again, the whole point of this call today is we've got to keep pushing ourselves to learn this stuff, because if you don't learn this stuff, you're gonna get left behind. And I guess my big driving force was kind of my parents, and seeing them as they moved from not learning how to, when they had a VCR, they could never figure out how to get that clock on the VCR. It was flashing 000 to reset the clock. They'd always call me up to come over and help them do that. And I kind of made a vow to myself, it's like, I don't want to ever be that parent. I got to call my kids to help with the stuff. So you got to really work hard to stay on top of all this technology. And ChatGPT, there's a lot here, and it's just the beginning. Love this stuff now. Think what this could be doing in a year from today. It's gonna be mind-boggling, because as John mentioned, all these companies are taking the ChatGPT in the back end and plugging it into their tool. I'm sure the drone industry could have something that's going to be running ChatGPT to make all of our lives, again, cleaning up pictures and making presentations and all that kind of stuff. So use it, spend time with it. So kind of other big talking points about learning, kind of trying to remain relevant. Don't be left behind. Again, like that story with my parents, I don't want to be left behind. I want to make sure I remain relevant as a leader in the industry, and I also want to stay ahead of the competition. As you all know, there's a million people out there that are out buying drones and think they're in the drone industry and they're drone pilots and they're going to run a drone business. But you gotta stay ahead of all the competition. You gotta stay relevant in the space. Other thing is, competence leads to confidence. So learning new things gives you a feeling of accomplishment, which in turn boosts your confidence. So, for example, if you're not comfortable with public speaking, take a class on public speaking. Or if you're not comfortable giving a presentation or making a presentation, take a class on it. Because if you can get comfortable with those two things, it'll give you a lot of confidence to go knock on trailer doors, for example, to introduce yourself to a superintendent or a project manager. Next is learn. Get a little personal, I call it. Get to really learn, not just for yourself to learn something new trick or new software, but start to learn about your clients, learn about your vendors, learn about your business partners, learn about your pilots on a personal level. And what my father-in-law taught me many years ago was that everyone loves to talk about themselves. And if we can get people to open up and start talking, it's really easy to get people to talk about themselves. So why not use that and learn as much as you can about them, about their families, about their business, because it's gonna dramatically increase your chances of connecting with them and winning their business. And this is just from the gut, but I believe that at least 50% of business is won based on relationships. If you're trying to sell something that your widget's better than the guy's widget down the street, you're just selling the same widget. You can sell the benefits of your widget 100 times a day, but if you build a relationship, that is going to win you more business. And there's a lady called Sam McKenna, who's another person I've learned a lot from. She's got a site called Sam Sells or Sam Sales or Sam Sales Consulting. And she's got this acronym called SMYKM, Show Me You Know Me. So her big thing is if you want to connect with someone on LinkedIn, no one's going to connect with you if you don't show them that you know them. So you got to do a little background on them and show them how you can help them or what your connection to them is or what their background is. So show me you know me is a really big thing. And this get personal, I'm going to share a story, and Larry will attest to this because this just happened to us today. We have an opportunity to work with this new nationwide company that needs some help from us in some agricultural flying, and it's going to lead to more work for you guys as pilots. And this was our first kind of get to know them meeting we had today, and we spent a lot of time kind of getting personal with them and trying to learn more about them personally. And we talked business stuff, of course, but we got to the end of the call and we made an immediate connection because the one guy knew we were from Michigan and he jumped in about being from Ohio, and we hope that doesn't affect the relationship because we're neighboring states and our schools are huge rivals. But Larry and this new partner of ours connected immediately because Larry's son happens to play baseball on a team that this kid used to play baseball on out of Columbus, Ohio. So small world. This guy is from Ohio, lives in Arizona, and Larry's son and this guy, we had a connection of baseball, and you could see the guy's face light up. You could see Larry's face light up. It was a personal connection that we made, and I believe that personal connection is going to have a lot of weight on this relationship of whether we win this relationship or not. So get personal.
That actually happened. It was a wild coincidence. And I think, Andy, after going back and overlapping the years, I think he may have played his last year or his first year of college ball the same year as Preston, my youngest, was playing his last year of college ball. And so those two schools played each other. So they may have actually been in opposing dugouts. But yeah, it's when you explore those little personal things, and there's all kinds of different strategies for just bringing them up. Where are you from? Do you have any kids? So just everyday conversations, and you never ever know where that conversation is going to lead and where that connection is made. And Andy's right. He will remember that connection for the length of our relationship, whether that's a year or 20 years. He'll remember that connection, and that will have a positive effect on our relationship.
I remember going with my father, who's been selling an entrepreneur his whole life. I'd go on sales calls with him when I was younger, and I would get so bored. I would get so bored in these sales calls because I actually came up with a term for it. I said, Dad, you got these social amenities, I called that. I think I call it social amenities, because he would spend 90% of the time, he was calling on car dealerships at the time. He'd spend 90% of his time just socializing with these people. And it's like, I was a young, hungry kid, not knowing any better. It's like, all I wanted to do was ask for the sale, sell, get out of here. But he was the master at building these social relationships and getting to know the clients, and that made him successful. And again, what's the saying, when you're until you're like 25 years old, your dad's the dumbest guy in the world, and once you hit 25 years old, all of a sudden, or 25 to 30 years old, man, the light bulb goes off and you realize your dad was one of the smartest guys in the world. So yeah, get social and get personal with your clients. Boost your profile. Again, take things that you've learned, let the world know about it. People like to know that you're smart and educated and you're trying to stay ahead, cutting edge on stuff. So LinkedIn gives you a really easy way to do that, to post all your licenses and certifications and classes you've taken on LinkedIn. So post that stuff onto your social channels. I don't know if this is probably one of the last slides, but educate your clients and prospects. So you're learning, take the things that you've learned and share them with others, because that's the single biggest way to lock in knowledge, is to go teach what you've just learned to somebody else. And we find, I've talked about this in the past with you guys, we find that educating our clients is the single most important thing that we can do, is teaching them all the things that drones can do. It's the most important thing that we spend our time doing. Again, another example from just this happened today. We just got awarded a job from a nationwide developer. They build residential big apartment complexes all over the country. We got hired to do a job for them in Arizona, and we started flying it. And the project manager came to us from another company we used to do work for. He came to this company. He said, I want to bring you guys on board to do my jobs for us here. He's the only one that's used us so far. And somehow I got introduced to, about a month after we flew the first time of this job, I got an email from the creative marketing branding manager for the company out of Dallas, Texas. Hey, can we get a copy of all the assets you're doing for the job for us in Arizona? I said, no problem. I said, but I would love to jump on a call and show you what it is that we do. And we had that call today. It was the marketing director and the branding creative director were on the phone today for a Zoom call for about 45 minutes. And again, the same thing happens every time we educate. We get these nods, we get these, oh my God, I didn't know drones could do that. Or wow, why didn't I know about that? Or I got to introduce you to someone else at our company because we should be doing this on job X, Y, and Z. So educating is really, really important. We get in this space and we're so surrounded by 7 days a week, 365 days a year on this drone stuff, and we forget that we know so much, but our clients don't, and we forget that our coworkers may not know as much. So you got to educate everyone all the time. And again, the clients still think that drones are about pretty pictures, and as soon as you educate them that they're more than that, it speeds up the entire adoption process at their businesses. So educate your clients and prospects. It'll award and reward you down the road.
Yeah, Andy, I just had an issue with that Tuesday. I went to a local county workshop for vendors that want to work with the county, and they did presentation. They had about 7 or 8 different departments there. Finance department, Parks and Recreation, capital projects, stormwater drainage department. So yeah, I got to go around and talk to some of the departments and explain to them it's more than just the pretty pictures that we can do for them. So one of the guys had told me they have two 107 pilots in the county, but they can't fly because he said insurance issues, but they have DJI drones. So they can't fly them. So now they're looking for some outside sources possibly. So
good.
Is that because Florida has they're
Yeah.
one of the 4 states that have recently banned DJI drones?
yeah, Chinese drones, not just DJI.
Not just Chinese, so Autel as well. Wow.
Yeah.
Well, so this is the second time this conversation has come up today. We were talking to someone else earlier today about that. So the state, whatever you went to, that county, because they have DJI drones, their rule is you can't fly those anywhere in the. It's a paperweight now. Those drones.
Yep.
Well, for two things, this may be you might be able to speak to this a little bit better, Corey, because you're there. But my understanding is that DJI drones or Chinese drones are still okay to be flown at the recreational and commercial level that is outside government.
Yes.
So if it's because it's government, it's a no-go.
Right.
So I wonder how that rule affects. They can't own and fly the drone. I wonder if they can subcontract out, or they would then ask. Are they going to ask you, Corey, what kind of drone you have? If you have a Chinese drone, tell you can't fly for them as a subcontractor or vendor.
I asked the guy. I don't know how much he knows legally, but because I told him, I said, yeah, I've got DJI drones. He goes, well, you can fly them because you don't work for us. You would be a subcontractor. So, and I've tried looking up the legislation and the law and the wording, and I can't find anything. It just says they can't purchase or operate them. It doesn't say anything about contractors or vendors.
This kind of sounds like the 107 loophole where real estate agents were flying their own properties and not paying pilots, so there was no exchange of money.
Yeah, everyone's gonna find a loop, but But that could be a good loophole for all of us. If that's the rule and all these drones are sitting there on a bookshelf collecting dust and they can't fly them because it's the China, could they outsource it and let us fly for them? Any of us fly for
Well,
them? That's a good thing.
The real pain point is police and fire can't use them.
Oh,
And that's thousands, hundreds of thousands of dollars of police departments and fire departments that have DJI stuff and they can't fly them.
what are they doing in cases of emergency where the police would come out and?
I can't speak to that, but I sure would take mine up. Yeah, I watched the hour-long legislation thing they had on it a month and a half ago, and one of the police chief said he didn't name the drone, but the battery caught on fire in the patrol car and they had to stop and throw it out. And he said, we've had DJI for 10 years, never had an issue. Now we got this American-made piece of crap that we're forced to take.
And right now, you guys have heard this legislation is in four different states. Or the federal government, obviously, you can't fly for any federal stuff, but only 4 states have adopted legislation for this.
New York is trying to pass nationwide. They're
Okay.
trying to pass a bill.
Yeah, and that's for government. So any sort of city government that would, like federal government, it's a no-go already. And they're looking to expand that into city municipalities.
Wow.
And it's all fear-based. It's all
Yeah.
fear-based. There's no actual evidence that suggests that DJI has any security risk. It's
Right.
all Chinese fear-based.
Well, we got to look into that as kind of an opportunity for all of us, that if these people are all sitting on tens of thousands of dollars of equipment and they've got used to using it and they can't use it now, but they could use the loophole of, hey, we're not flying it. We'll let Drone Brothers go fly it for us, and we can pick up where these guys left off. That'd be a good thing for all of us. So we'll have to look into that. Yeah. Last slide is just all this stuff. Ultimately, at the end of the day, we all want to figure out a way to increase our income. So kind of take what you've learned and offer these additional services to try to upsell your customer, to introduce your customer to a new service. Again, another example of this just happened to us. I don't know if it was today or yesterday, but Drone Deploy has got this new a Drone Deploy walkthrough feature, and they've had it for a while, but it's been kind of crappy. And they actually bought the company called Struction Site, and they're now importing a lot of Struction Site's features into their walkthrough feature, and there could be a few more months until it's completely integrated. But we're getting trained on the walkthrough feature, and we're gonna have to learn how it works. And we're gonna go out and demo it for a few of our local clients so that we can then roll this out, hopefully on a nationwide basis. But again, all comes back to learning, getting trained, getting educated on this. And again, by learning this, by using it, by introducing it to our customers, it ultimately makes us better business people and gets us more sales. So that's it. We got about 15 minutes to spare. So I don't know if you want to open things up, but if you guys have other things that you've learned from or resources you guys want to share with the rest of the group, as far as books you've read, websites you subscribe to, web pages clubs you belong to, or things like that have been useful, helpful, I open the floor up to you guys to add any kind of comments or thoughts or things like that.
I got a question on Arco, what the building, the big company down here in St. Louis. I'm seeing all these buildings being popped up, apartment buildings and parts of the university. How do we get involved in that? Because I mean, I've gone a couple times, and I was blocked out. First one I went to, they already had somebody. I tried to find out who it was, and I could tell I wasn't welcome. It was probably wrong place, wrong time. Second one, I've got a contact person's name, which I've been calling. Really haven't made any contacts. What's the best way of getting involved with these people? I mean, I know the process is already being built, but how do we get involved in it?
Well,
it's a huge
Arco
company.
Construction or Arco Murray?
Yes, Arco Murray.
Yeah, so I think Arco actually has an office in St. Louis. I think either their construction division, one of their divisions, I think, is headquartered out of St. Louis. So,
well, that would make sense, because there's a lot of, like, downtown where WashU, Washington State University, there's all these apartment buildings going up. I mean, big buildings.
All right, let me find out, because like I say, I don't know if you were on the call when we first started talking about, because Top Golf is.
Yeah, I was.
Yeah, you were the one. Yeah, that all comes through Arco. So let me reach out to my contacts in the entertainment division and ask them if they can give me an intro to someone in the St. Louis office, because as you're learning, it's very difficult to get into these companies, and who are you and what do you want? And they're going to block you every chance they get. But we're already in with Arco. We already have history with them. Let me see if I can figure out who a lead would be to talk to in the St. Louis office.
See,
Okay.
that's two of us with Arco.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I sent you the link already, emailed it.
Okay. Thank you. Yeah.
Hello?
They're a big company. They're one of the top, I think top 15 or 20 in the country. They have no official drone policy that I'm aware of. They don't have a nationwide company. We're the closest thing to that right now, doing all their entertainment stuff, some of the iFly locations and the Top Golf. So let me see if we can figure out who a contact would be at the I'll look for your email, Corey, and I'll also check with St. Louis who the contact would be down there to get us an in.
That'd be great. And the other question I have is, who else on our team are using FPVs, trying to, like, after I'm done doing my flights, they've got the building part built up. So yesterday I flew through it, just flew into some areas. I mean, obviously it's really rough, but is that something that we can use, or am I just, doing it for fun? I mean, I want them to be able to see we can do this. And I don't know if we can use it on social media, but what happens, like, when I send all my images up, do I need to let you know that there's special stuff in there?
Absolutely. So first of all, we can't use the stuff on social. We can't use it. You guys can't use it. They all have NDAs in place. So for a lot of these jobs,
Okay.
probably 60% of the jobs that we fly, no one's allowed to post stuff on social. So don't be putting stuff on social, because you get caught, it just makes the client angry. So you don't want to post stuff on social. On the FPV side of things, pilot down in St. Louis, when you guys get this building done and you want to do a really cool fly through with an FPV, we can do that, capture some of that stuff for you. So let me see if we can get an in to be able to do that as an upsell to them. Upsell.
Yeah, because I mean, I've done stuff for the down at the Ballpark Village, a couple hotels, restaurants, and it's these. I'm doing lots and lots of, I call it investing my time, where I'm doing a lot of free stuff. I mean, trying to get the paid business, and I'm just thinking, with our capability, I mean, it'd be like a shoe-in.
How do you see? I'm not sure where is St. Louis. How far along are they on that job? Are they 80% done with that job, or is it?
I'd say probably 75%.
Okay.
They've got all the netting up. They've got like 3/4 of the building built, and like they got all the frame, the glass windows, and then the inside. Like I said, I flew my drone through the inside, so you should have footage of that. They got the stairwell in there. They've got the that real shiny poured concrete and marble in the inside, and then they have all the turf all lined up, ready to be done, I think, next week.
Perfect. How do you see using FPV right now during this phase of construction? What's the benefit of FPV that they would get a real kick out of? How do you see that being used now?
Mainly what I did, what I shared with you, I just flew it in the inside portion of it. Like there's 3 levels. I flew it down the first level and then went into the inner sanctum area and just kind of flew it around a little. I didn't spend quality time. It was more of kind of get in, get out, because I was trying to beat the rain and the heat. So, but I got some good footage that way.
Okay.
And it's really just showing what's being done. That's really the main thing.
Perfect. So when was this flight?
I just uploaded the flight yesterday. So I'll upload it actually this morning. Tony's got all the hand flown stuff. I had to go back out and finish just some more pictures. So basically, it was yesterday, to answer your question.
So is the FPV footage mixed in with the rest of the footage, or did you put it in a separate folder?
No, I put it in the hand flown video.
Okay.
It says DJI. If you want, I can resend it and call it FPV, but it's a couple clips.
All right, I'm gonna have Tony look for that. I'm gonna have our editing team look for that as well, because that would be a cool thing to show these guys interior fly through. It differentiates us from everyone else, and they'll probably get a kick out of that. So I will.
And then
Thanks,
I have,
John.
you know what? Hey, I'll upload. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna also upload to you guys. I didn't share this with you, but you know the big holes, the you hit your golf balls into.
Yeah.
I flew my I flew my drone into the hole, and then there's a tunnel, and I flew it through the tunnel, and then I came up a little manhole out of it, just because it was just there to fly.
Oh, good. Well, yeah, send that, because any of that kind of stuff you would get these guys' attention, and it'd get passed around the company. It would become a talk about item for us. So yeah, send that along. That would be great.
Okay, I'll do that then. All right, cool.
Any other questions or comments or ideas to share before we wrap things up?
I
Yeah.
have a little something. I wanted to let you guys know that Sarah, who is down there at the bottom,
Hi, team.
yes, hey, Sarah. We are working very diligently to put together a pilot portal that you will access through dronebrothers.com. The pilot portal will give you a wide selection of marketing materials, etc. It'll also be a place where we can share ideas, introduce contests. We can talk about your experiences in the field. We can chat back and forth. It's going to be something that is very unique to Drone Brothers. So we're excited about that. I'm going to send out an email to everyone next week, kind of outlining what's going to be in there. Again, a lot of videos, a huge package of marketing materials. And I want you to keep in mind, I think I said this last time, those marketing materials can be made to look as though they're your marketing materials. We want you to use them. We want you to use them as your marketing materials powered by Drone Brothers. So I know a few of you, I don't know if anybody on this call, but a few people have reached out for those. We've obliged them. We've given them marketing materials. So this is going to be a very robust back end for all the Drone Brother pilots. The one thing we want to impress and keep emphasizing is we do not view our pilots, all 300 plus, as a commodity. Okay, we don't view you as a commodity. There are lots of companies out there that put out work and it's a race to the bottom. That is not our philosophy. Our philosophy is to form partnerships with all of our pilots so that they can get more work, so that they can represent themselves, empower themselves to be something bigger than they are today, so that they can grow and we grow together. So everybody wins. So this pilot portal will emphasize that, how to do. It will have videos on how to approach clients, words, anything that you need. And if something's not in there, you can contact me directly and we'll work on it. So we're excited about that.
Yeah, everything that Larry said, give us some time. This is all coming. It's going to be a couple weeks out, but this stuff is all coming. Yeah. And the other thing I want to make a point of for everyone on the call, Larry is here as a resource for you guys as well. And you're probably going to hear from Larry via the phone and via email in the coming weeks, that he may just give you a phone call to check in to, again, you guys want to brainstorm on something that comes up between these meetings. So this Arco Murray discussion, or you found a new job site down the road, how do you approach, or who do I talk to? Or Larry's could be there to coach you guys as well. He's got decades of entrepreneurial experience and decades of literally coaching experience, from coaching youth sports to coaching kids in scouts. Larry is a born coach, and we're going to just use his skills to help you guys and coach you guys and be there to support you guys for this entrepreneur stuff. So you might get a phone call or an email from Larry in the coming weeks, because one of his roles is to get in touch with all of our pilots and make sure he's there to support you guys any way that you need help.
And I want that to be a two-way street. I mean, I want to coach and help in any way I can, but you guys are out there in the field. You're doing this every day. So I want to hear those stories. I want to hear what's working. If something's not working, you can't, break through a barrier. Want to know, why you think that's happening. But we need to, as a network among pilots, share these stories, success stories, and when you need help. So I want this very much to be a two-way street, unless you're from Ohio.
Unless you're, and
Yeah, then we really can't help you.
then we
I'm
really
sorry.
can't help you if you're.
Yeah, you're just in a world of hurt.
All right, last thing, if you guys have other questions, I'll stay on, but last thing, we have been doing over the last few months, we've been doing 2 of these a month. We've been doing an entrepreneurial or Drone Bros University talk, and we've also been doing Tony's Hangar Talks. What we're gonna do over probably starting next month is we're gonna figure out a way to save all of us some time, and we're gonna figure out a way to do these more efficiently, and we're gonna combine these up. So starting in August, we'll do 1 session a month. We try to be as timely as we can on these things, but our vision is to spend half the call on Hangar Talk stuff, and then other half of the call on the Drone Bros and Entrepreneur University type stuff. And maybe these calls have to extend instead of an hour, they gotta go to an hour and 15 or an hour and a half. But starting next month, we're gonna combine these up into one webinar a month, and they'll combine up the Hangar Talk and the Drone Bros University. So, and as Larry mentioned, if there's a subject matter you guys want to learn more about, or you think everyone would like to learn more about, shoot us an email anytime and we can certainly talk about that. Any other questions, comments, thoughts, suggestions, feedback?
I have a few. I'm willing to stay on extra time to
Okay.
talk about them. So I'll throw them out there. I have 2 sites out here that I've been going to weekly. Well, 3 sites that I've been going to and kind of practicing and collecting data for. And I'm wondering a way to approach these companies, because I'm not doing this with their knowledge. I'm doing it, in my spare time so that I can show them what it is that can be done outside of just, the aerial photography and videos. And I've sort of collected the information, and now I'm getting to that point where I'm ready to start presenting it, and what I want to do it in the most efficient way based on your experience of the way to approach that. So instead of like going in and trial and erroring, which I'm happy to do, I want to know what has not worked in the past, to just go in with what's working now to continue this.
We actually, I was on vacation for a couple weeks ago, so we actually owe you a follow-up on a discussion you, me, and Larry have had in the past. So I think we should probably pick a time in the next day or 2 to just jump on a call with you and continue that discussion, and we can answer your questions on how to approach those guys. I would say if you need help with us putting together a taking and processing some maps for you, we can certainly do that through our Drone Deploy account. If you want to do some panoramas and put those through the drone, we can help you and just give you access, get your own account on Drone Deploy in the future to start capturing this stuff for, so it makes things look better and more professional. If you need help with, I know you're a video editor, so you probably don't need help in the video editing side of things, but yeah, let's talk about this in a day or 2, and we'll help you with that.
Okay, yeah, that works. I'm using WebODM right now for all my maps, but I don't have a Drone Deploy account, so yeah, that would be huge.
What are you using? What is that?
WebODM.
Web
Okay.
ODM, Oscar
Open Drone.
Delta.
Yep.
It's
Oscar Delta
open
Mike.
drone maps.
Okay.
Yep, that's it. Rich Charpentier, who I think he's been on a couple of times with these. He is like the guy I've been watching and following, who does all of his stuff through web. Well, he does a lot through WebODM. It's a great open source free software to learn with, but it is going in and doing creating all the settings yourself. So it does take a bit of a learning curve, but it is possible to do that, because I've been using those to generate the maps and then uploading those to the software that usually charges to do all the web process or the map processing. So but Drone Deploy requires a payment plan for.
Well, we've got a plan.
Anyway.
So let's the first thing we can do, Mason, let's get Tony to set you up with a Drone Deploy account. and we'll add you with an
Okay.
account, and you can start mapping it the right way with drone deploy. It'll save you a lot of time and aggravation, and you'll
cool.
fly it. You'll push a button, they'll get uploaded, and you don't have to worry about trying to jury rig the
Yeah.
situation. And we'll do it the right way.
That's awesome because I can just show them, here's what I've already created for you in drone deploy. And do you want to keep doing this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anything else before we wrap?
Looking forward to that marketing material. That'll be real helpful. Thank you.
Yep.
And when you do get it, please provide me with feedback. Please.
Sure.
That's, so that we can mold it to fit more of your applications in the field.
Okay.
Yeah, Larry, I sent the teaser video
Yeah.
for construction uses and all that
Mhm.
to a couple, 2 or 3 developers in the last week, but I haven't heard anything back yet. It was pretty much cold calling. So
Yeah. Now give them a follow-up and see what they think. That's a good video for that really good video.
Which video is this?
Well, I think Corey, you're talking about the one that introduces
21 different uses of how drones are used around construction sites.
yeah.
yes.
Oh, okay, that video. Okay,
It's
all
the
right.
one that opens with the map, I believe.
And Corey, be
great.
patient. We're going to talk about this in an upcoming session, but be patient because all these seeds you're planting, you might plant 3 seeds and no one calls back for a week or 2 or 3, but all of a sudden, if you keep pestering these guys enough, they will call back, and when the time is right, they're going to have your information out there because you've sent enough samples or examples
Yep.
to them. So keep planting the seeds.
Yeah, we have learned that people pop out of the blue 9 months later, 12. I think the record is 2 years later. Somebody popped up,
Wow.
but it
Yeah,
does happen. Just keep planting the seeds.
Yeah, I had your business card from 2 years ago. You dropped off
Yeah.
my office, and I'm ready now. It's like, what? Where have you been?
Yeah.
I've been starving to death. My kids haven't eaten for 2 years. Where have you been? All right. Good to see
All right.
everybody. Have a good night.